Next is our entertainment segment with our special guest host, John Russell Cring. John will be interviewing Basil Anastassiou, and Mr. Anastassiou is a filmmaker and producer, and they'll be talking about a phenomenal documentary that he did right here in Albany, New York, called Bawling at the Graveyard. And if you're wondering what that is, stay tuned. Let's watch.
Welcome back to Impact, and I'm John Russell Cring. As you're probably aware, I'm not usually the normal guy here. I've been called in to interview some great filmmakers. I like to think of myself as the pickup interviewer, which ties in very well with pickup basketball. These gentlemen right here. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do the names. Here we go. We're gonna do it. Here we go.
Got confidence.
Basil Anastassiou and Paul
Cantafo,
yeah.
Well,
almost 50%, which is still a failing grade.
It's a lot of vowels, it's a lot of syllables. You did good.
You know, I just hate both of you for having those names. But you guys have done an amazing documentary, shot locally here, entitled Bawling at the Graveyard. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
So, pickup basketball. People are familiar with it from movies like White Man Can't Jump, that type of thing. What got you guys interested in doing a documentary on it?
I am an addicted pickup basketball player. I've played at the court that we feature in the movie for 20 years.
Which court is that?
This is the Washington Park in Albany. Those courts, there's a weekend game, Saturday, Sunday mornings in the summertime, starting at about 9 o'clock and running till whenever, and it's been going on for almost 40 years. And it's such an amazing place.
That's a very long basketball game. Like, how do they play at 2 o'clock in the morning? I think I understand what you're saying.
Yes, people have been showing up there, believe it or not, in the morning, in the summer, if it doesn't rain, since the late 60s. We thought it was a story that needed telling. Frankly, I just wanted an excuse to be able to tell my wife that I needed to get to the basketball court again, and I had no other choice in the matter.
That's one of the things that attracted to me to your guys' story, because as a filmmaker myself, when I read your bio, you were basically saying you guys were going to do a completely different other project,
yes.
And then it was like, I'd rather do this, because this is much more interesting to me, and this is much more personal.
Yeah, no, it's true. Basil and I have been working together in kind of a creative collaboration for almost 20 years, and writing scripts together, in fact, kind of critiquing each other's work as a support group for each other. And we had this script that we loved, a short film, and we were about to start shooting it. I mean, we were committed to it. And that was going to be our first sort of film, a short film. And Basil gave me a call one day and said, Paul, just come down here and see what's going on. Just take a look at what's happening here at the court. So I went down, and it took me all of 5 minutes to just totally be hooked into that place and the energy and the people that are there and the ball, yes, but that community that was just, it was just electric. And I couldn't imagine. At that moment, I knew why Basil was going there for 20 years, and I said, let's do it. Let's do this instead. And we just started filming pretty much the day after that. And that was.
How long has over what period of time were you guys filming the documentary?
We're at 5 years.
Golly, Miss Molly.
Yes. We were on the court for a couple years. We were editing for a good period of time. But each step we've taken in this process, everybody that we've kind of reached out to, it's both extended the time of this production, but it's also improved the final product. For instance, we last year, it's probably about a year ago, we went in for some sound tweaks with a company in town called White Lake Music and Post.
Yes.
And David Bourgeois, who owns the company, and who is a composer and a music producer, and also runs this voice coaching company, said, you know what? We fixed your sound, and they did fix our sound. It was a beautiful job. But we also want to be involved on the music end. We think there's some opportunities there. And a year later,
Right.
but that's what this process takes, we have now what we think is a really killer, we think maybe a soundtrack with original composition, with some artists that, with relationships through White Lakes. Pickup basketball is a world unto itself. And right, there are nuances in every court, but there's this whole ritual that you have to go through on the court. And there's a hierarchy. Just getting into the game can be a struggle.
Right.
Within the game, making a call if you get fouled can be a struggle if you don't have a reputation or you don't have the status. So it really, there's that aspect, and the movie kind of pulls the cover off that. And this is every court, really.
Right.
I mean, we've seen some movies, about pickup basketball. Really not even about pickup basketball, but movies that kind of celebrate, and it's really a highlight reel and
Right.
goes through kind of the history of things. This drops you courtside and says, here's what it's like.
Right.
And I will tell you, this is not a movie that's full of highlight reels. You're not going to see
No.
a lot of
No.
high-flying. What you will see is people negotiating their way onto the court. What you will see is people arguing and figuring out things. And that human interaction is just riveting. It has always been to me, and it's something that Paul found. And I think that's what we're hoping that the audience finds, that in that world, apart from the basketball that's going on, all the stuff in between is really what we're focusing on. And then the characters who populate it. And really the reveal is there's some surprising stories that if you look just a little deeper, you will find maybe you get yourself past a preconception about who plays on these urban courts.
Well, Basil, you're a horrible, horrible tease. All of these people are like sick of you talking, and they actually want to see the trailer. Okay, my God, man, let these people see this trailer.
Let my trailer go.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at it.
You go to any court in a big city that's got a history in this country, big city, small town, there's a court there that people talk about, and there's a game on that court. And that game has certain rules and subtle things that you need to know, but it's pickup basketball.
It's either you do or die. And if you do, you all right. You die, you in the graveyard. This is the graveyard. Guys walk ahead with scratches on your face. I got a scar on my head right now, man. 8th grade, graveyard. My initiation.
The same shit! The green card expiring after this game.
Trash talk is to give you the advantage by any verb necessary.
You on probation. I would have dunked on you and pushed you in the fence. You are the weakest link. We want him to get it all day. Start losing, resort to cheating.
So if anybody tell you they don't cheat, they're lying.
If I'm losing the game, I gotta make up a couple calls to make it interesting. I know I robbed them on that one, but they was robbing me all game. I was down 6 baskets. I had to get back.
If a white guy comes to the court and busts your ass, it's a problem.
He's busting your ass, Jamel Hood. Wait, hold. He's next. No, he's next. Who's next? You next, and I'm with you.
Nobody ever knows who has next.
It's the greatest thing in the world to watch people get hysterical over who's got winners when you just calm and collected and winning games. Fantastic.
My people right now are having a social debate. My people right now are having a debate on the court.
A lot of warriors out there with no law degrees.
We're all good friends. We're all good friends. That's the thing. That's what keeps us together. That's why we can go to that park, because we're all good friends.
The game is a hell of a thing. Without it, what would the world be? Without the game, without them Saturday and Sunday mornings, where would we be? Stuck with our wives. Don't say that too loud.
Who are these guys in real life? Like, are these just like working collar, blue collar guys? Are these, white collar? Who are these people when they're not on the court?
Well, it's a great mixture, I think. There are people in law enforcement. There are people who are professionals that work in state government. There are guys who are just hammering away at life 9 to 5, doing what they got to do to get along. It's a wide variety of people.
Now it's called the Graveyard. Why is it the place called the Graveyard?
Well, the guys on the court call it the Graveyard because of how hard the ball is there. So they'll say, you'll get killed in the Graveyard if you don't bring your best game. And so they talk about that's how they refer to the Graveyard. That's what it means to them.
Right.
But the fact is, Washington Park in Albany was Albany's first cemetery.
If I understand correctly, you had said that the cast and crew had gotten a chance to view the film earlier. What was their response to it?
Oh, so beautiful! It was. In fact, last night we screened it for them, and the response was overwhelmingly positive, and I can't imagine us having a more gratifying moment in the journey of this than what happened last night after that showing. It was beautiful. It was really beautiful.
No complaints about how they were edited or anything like that.
I'm telling you, nothing.
No, and how generous that is, because that's a tough thing.
Right.
And some folks probably were expecting a little bit more of themselves on screen. We heard nothing about that. What we heard was, really, thank you for showing the court the way it is.
Right.
And for those who said that to us, who really only got a little, small little piece of it, I think that's a reflection of how much they care about the court, and more so than they care about any kind of celebrity they may get out of this. The first half of the movie you could hardly hear in the theater because everybody's yelling at the screen.
That first half about ball, where we go into ball in the first part of the movie. Yeah. Oh my God, they were just out of their minds, standing up, yelling
crazy,
at the screen. It was great. It was just exuberant.
Yeah. And then when we got into the lives of some of the guys, you could hear a pin drop, which I was trying to read the right way, but which is they're in it. But
and
you
we
never
found
know
out afterwards that they were in it. Again, because those 5 stories that we tell, it goes back to the anonymity on the court. They didn't know. I mean, and we had almost 60 guys, from the court that were at this screening, or 50 or 60 guys, and those 5 guys that they've been playing with all this time, they'd had no idea what they were doing off the court, and the degree to which they were, community, sort of leaders.
Right.
They had no sense of this. And so they got to see that in these 5 guys that they play with for 20 or 30 years. They had no idea about. And everybody, it was a buzz last night, like, wow, I didn't know that. And the respect level, I think, we just rose that much more, because they were able to see this peek into their friends' lives that they really didn't know. And that was a great thing to see that happen.
Generally, one more time, where are people going to be able to see this movie?
It's going to be at the Spectrum 8 Theaters on Delaware Avenue starting July 13th. We are guaranteed a 2-week run, 4 days, 4 shows a day for the first week, 2 shows a day for the second week. And then depending on turnout, we may go week to week after that. But starting July 13th, it'll be a 2-week run.
Great. Well, Paul and Basil, that was absolutely fantastic. Great to talk to you guys. It sounds like an absolutely fabulous time. I'll definitely be there talking some smack, man.
Oh, I would
talking
love that.
duty to you guys. Get ready.
Bring it.
All right. And hopefully you'll work out your issues with your subpar play.
Believe me, I'm trying.
All right. Thanks so much for watching Impact, our entertainment section. Schenectady's always got something super interesting, and make sure you catch us again. Maybe I'll be here.
Well, that's it for Impact this week. I'm your host, Nick Barber. Thanks for watching. Remember, we want to hear from you, so contact us by email. Give us your ideas and your suggestions. You can contact us at impact@proctors.org. So enjoy the rest of the summer. Go to the movies, watch the documentary at the Spectrum, Balling in the Graveyard, and enjoy the summer. We'll see you next week.
Proctors, bringing the best in arts, education, and entertainment.